Are you ready for a new government? Are you ready, FNMs and Bahamas, for a new Bahamas? Under your new FNM government, we will eliminate VAT on bread basket items. Going through hard times, the FNM will not, at this particular time, approve nor agree with a salary increase for parliamentarians.
Several months later.
You know I really don't hate to see it. The government don't want to see it. But if Roosevelt was living, he wouldn't let his kingdom. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Armed with placards and singing in solidarity, irate staff of the National Insurance Board lamented what they called gross mismanagement at the National Insurance Board after Human Resources threatened to cut their pay.
We have been receiving letters from HR stating that we will be cut for December, when in actuality, and they're asking us to present some unexcused absences. We've submitted these unexcused absences for 2016.
The union president says there are concerns about whether staff will be paid increments and Christmas bonuses, as evaluations have yet to occur.
In a $1.7 billion operation, you can't pay salaries? For the first time in history, our members have not been paid. And today they won't be paid until after 5 today. I'm calling on the leaders of this nation to fix this NIB. NIB is helpful to too many people around this country, for the people, the workers, to be suffering in the way that they're suffering.
President of the Bahamas Public Services Union, Kimsley Ferguson, is demanding the reinstatement of approximately 19 employees he says were unceremoniously terminated from the gaming board this week in what he described as a breach of the industrial agreement. Among those terminated was Gaming Board Secretary Verdant Scott. Ferguson says the board abused its power, not consulting with the union, and likens its blatant disregard of the industrial agreement to union busting.
We're concerned that this is an attempt by the gaming board to marginalize the union and to challenge the union's ability to represent its membership.
Ferguson, who was joined by President of the National Congress of Trade Unions, Bahamas President Bernard Evans, says there was no just cause for the termination of employees who were all permanent and pensionable, and the union will protect their interests. One termination letter says the board conducted a review of its structure and current manpower needs to formulate a strategy that would create maximum organizational efficiency. Marva Hasty, who received a similar letter, says she needs answers.
We just want to know why we were terminated, because the reason that they gave was utter nonsense to me, and I feel as if my rights were breached.
Marisha Walks, the terminated senior accounts clerk, says it sets a bad precedent.
If the gaming board management is allowed to breach an industrial agreement like this, the other government departments are going to look at this and say, well, they did it at the gaming board, why can't we do it?
Evans agrees and says industrial agreements should be honored at all times. He says the union will allow the 7 days due process, then the gloves are off.
We're inviting all compassionate, fair-minded Bahamians to join us, as we always do, when there's time to really check a government that seems to run a rogue. There seems to be a government that is out of time, out of season, and seemingly don't know what to do, in the manner in which they're doing things.
A gaming board executive told ZNS News that terminations came after investigation into operations of the board and a review of salaries, reporting, and general operations, and it is necessary before a forensic audit can begin.
Some things in life they just don't want to see it. But if Martin Luther was living, he wouldn't let his kingdom run. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
The country on notice that at the next budget, I will come forth with a pay increase for the members of Parliament.
Well, how does the public feel about the potential salary increase for parliamentarians? Keishla Adderley traveled the streets today to find out.
Last week, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis suggested that parliamentarians' paychecks are eclipsed by contracts of up to $800,000. We asked Bahamians their feelings on an increase proposal.
I don't agree with it at all, basically because we're barely making it as it is.
They just get to find out what money is. If they want money, leave.
It's too quick. They just reach a power. They deduct the social service food slip money from the poor people, and they're getting raised. That is unfair.
Teachers right now are complaining about I'm an education major, and teachers right now are complaining about their salaries and not getting their full pay on time. So I feel as though they should put other things first before themselves and then get back to themselves.
We got so many people hurting at this time, so I can't see it for right now.
Also, give salary to the people what the government do, because they getting all the money and they don't really pay much of bills.
Sometimes I get it wrong. I don't explain or say things as well as I could.